Welcome to the Tomato Bob YouTube channel. My name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to show you how we plant garlic in the fall or winter before Christmas. Now the garlic I'm going to plant today is a variety called Ivan. It was brought over to the US from Canada a few years ago, and we're going to give this a shot. From what I'm told, it tastes pretty good. So the first thing you want to do is take your bulb, and you can use any heirloom variety. I've even had some success with the varieties that you get at the grocery store. So the one thing with those to consider is a lot of the time they're treated so that they don't sprout, because you don't want that when you're selling it in the grocery store. So they might not always take. So heirloom varieties are the best. Ivan, Music, Red Russian, there's a bunch of them out there. First thing you're going to want to do, so we'll put this one down. First thing you're going to want to do, expose these starts on the top of the bulb. Really, I mean, you can get rid of all this stuff. It's going to come off anyway. So once you have that, you can break this apart. So what you want to do, grab on a half of it and just pull apart, and you'll start breaking these up. Now what your goal here is to get all of these off and separated so that you can go ahead and plant them in the soil. Toss that. You're going to break this apart. Ooh. Now don't worry don't worry if they get stuck, first of all. But what I was going to say, there we go. Don't worry, yep, this is exactly what happened. So don't worry if the peel comes off and you expose this side, not a big deal. That is going to go in the dirt anyway. It's going to be just fine. On the off chance that it does, start rotting, that's why you plant a bunch of these, so that it's okay if one of them failed. So it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't count, 5, about 9 cloves off that one bulb, which is pretty good. So the next thing we're gonna do, I've got a few more bulbs. We're gonna break these all up, and then I'll come back and show you how we put them in the ground. All right, so one thing I wanna make sure I mention, garlic does best when you plant it in the fall or in the winter. And it has to go through a period of cold. It doesn't have to be extreme cold, but it does have to see that cold temperature followed by the warmer temperatures in spring and summer. It's called stratification. So garlic and some other plants naturally want to go through that. That's kind of like their trigger to start growing. So it's important to plant your garlic in the fall or winter. But if you can't get your garlic into the dirt before it freezes over, because that's really the tipping point. Once it freezes over, it's pretty difficult to get into the dirt, especially to put the garlic in the dirt. If that's the case, what you can do is take your garlic, break it up, and put it in the freezer to kind of simulate that environment that it would see during the winter months. And then in the spring, you can put it in the ground. Once the ground's thawed, it'll grow just as well. So that is an option. But if you can, get it into your bed in the fall or winter. Right now, as I'm recording this, it is October 20th. We're in zone 6. We had our first frost last night, so our soil is still good in the raised beds. It's not frozen solid, so it's a good time for us to get our garlic in. It's a little bit later. Usually we try to get it in by the end of September, but this is the first opportunity that we've had, so we're gonna give it a shot. Now when you're actually planting your garlic cloves, what you want to do is plant them like this. So the tip up at the top, and this part, which is from the root base of the bulb, goes down. I've done this before, planting it upside down, and it'll still grow, but the plant actually will sprout out this way and it'll come up this way. So it kind of puts a little bit of extra energy into getting out through the top of the soil where it can get sunlight and start growing. So Is it going to kill it off? By no means. But it's better for the plant, uses less energy to break through the soil if you do it this way. Now, depth on these, I usually go up to my second knuckle. It's important to find a depth where the garlic is going to be protected from the frost and the cold and insulated by the dirt, but not so deep that it can't shoot up in the spring and send the stem out through the soil. So somewhere in the 2 to 4 inch range is usually pretty good. As far as spacing goes, I've been watching some videos about growing them closer together, and some of the experiments some people out there are doing are pretty promising, that you can actually bunch them up, the cloves up, and still get really good results. What I'm going to use here is roughly a 6-inch spacing. I don't have a ruler. I'm not doing anything special, but I'm just going to use the general rule of thumb, about the width of my hand, a little bit more. That should be okay. Your bulbs on these are about 2.5 inches wide. So if you think about that, if you're growing a smaller variety, you can probably pack them a little closer together. But you just want to give them enough room to grow. Just like onions, just like potatoes, if you pack them too tight, they don't have any room to grow and they get restricted and they just don't grow right. So you want to give them a little bit of room if you can. So we're going to take a bunch of our garlic. We're going to start over here. And we're just going to take a piece, put it down in the dirt. Now, once you do a whole row, then usually I like to go back and cover it up all at one time, just a little bit faster to get it done. So that's what we're going to do. That's one row done. We're going to go ahead and get the rest of it planted. The sponsor of this video is tomatobob.com. Surprise! If you need any heirloom vegetable seeds for your garden, come check us out. We've got all sorts of stuff, and we're always happy to help. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. I'll leave a link down in the description. So the method I use to actually push these bulbs into the ground is to grab them by the top like that and push until my fingers are covered with dirt, and then I cover it with another inch or so of soil. That seems to work pretty well. So what I'm doing is I'm spacing each bulb about 6 inches apart, and then I'm spacing each row about 6 inches apart. So if you think of a big grid, about 6 inches by 6 inches for each one, and you'd be surprised how much garlic you can fit in a small space. Now, another important factor, why I like putting these in raised beds, is you don't want too much moisture around your garlic. That can cause rot, and that's not good. Your garlic will be toast. So having a good drainage in your soil is really important with garlic, and raised beds are perfect for that. Generally speaking, you don't have water buildup under your raised bed. You just want to go over and smooth everything out. Make sure everything's covered. There's no bulbs that are visible. Don't want that. Should be good to go. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Check us out at tomatobob.com, and I hope you have a good day.